Welcome back to more Guild Wars 2. Since the new areas we're going to need to be going in are quite a little ways away and a little bit above our level, we're going to be going to the human starting area. But first, I'm going to show you this. This is the Asura Gate. This has been here since the beginning. This leads to Lion's Arch. This is where the major events that have happened to date have happened. Now, I'm doing this commentary after the Halloween event, and this video was recorded after that event and before the most recent Lost Shores event. So, this commentary is happening afterwards, so I don't know what has changed. But these Asura Gates lead to the various starting zones. This is the Norn starting zone. The previous one, I believe, was the Char starting zone. This one over here is the human starting zone, Divinity's Reach, which is the one we want to go to next. And this over here is Rata Sum, which we've already seen. This is the Asura starting area. You can get to all these, so you can actually do them in the order you're supposed to. From beginning to end rather than backwards. I just had not done Lion's Arch, and it's been actually a long time since I initially ran this. But I have an idea of how we're going to do this. Now, there was a giant statue one time in the middle. It is no longer there, thanks to the Halloween event. So let's explore over to the left first. Lion's Arch is a pirate homeland, actually. Most of them are human, but these are pirates, which makes the Lion Guard one of the more interesting people because they protect pirates. Now, generally most of the architecture here is old boats. I don't know if it's because they don't know how to build anything that's not a boat or what. This is some of the remains of old Lion's Arch, which used to be a royal family's location. There used to be a kingdom apparently based out of here at one point in time. But heading down and around, we will be getting to the next waypoint. And there's another point of interest over here. What makes Lion's Arch interesting is that's one of the only places with a sewer system, which is significant in humanity's current form, I guess you could call it. There's nothing much further down the road, down the beach there. It's actually nothing down there, of interest at least, so we have to follow the road further north. I'm not kidding when I say most everything is a boat. I mean, you can see the breakpoints. I'm not sure why everything looks like a boat. Maybe it's because the pirates don't know how to build anything else other than a boat. So they build boats on land. I'm serious, too. We'll get to a point later where we see bridges that are strung together, sections of boat. I'm not sure if there was some cataclysmic event, other than, obviously, the Rise of the Dragons that happened. But over here, in this cave, is one of the more interesting locations. This is called the Undermarket. Basically the black market. And they pay enough to where the Lion's Guard won't bother anyone inside here, as neither will the Blood Legion, who is also just outside. But apparently this is the location where they claim you can get everything you've ever wanted. I've not actually seen anything useful in any of these places you can buy these things. There was actually nothing of real importance, because you can get everything you really want through the Black Lion Trading Company, which is the online auction house. Now, there's nothing further down, which is what I did. I went further south. Instead, from that waypoint we were at, we have to go this way. And Lion's Arch is pretty big. As you would expect with anything that's fairly large size, there's people who give you speed boons. Speed bonuses. It's only like 10%, so it's not exceptional. But it gives you reasons to increase your dignity, ferocity, or charisma.
Some days I really miss my warband. But we all have to move on sometimes.
Now, as you'd expect, there's also a Tengu wall. At least I'm assuming they're Tengu walls, because there's always Tengu around these types of walls. See what I mean? Now, because it had been a long time since I ran this map, I forgot how to actually get to that waypoint up there. I thought I might have to climb these rocks. Which, they give you the option to do, but I realized at that point that was stupid and just fall. And then you climb. That's really it. Now, the nice thing about Lion's Arch is that it has a lot of water. And when I say that, I mean we're going to be jumping from this height completely all the way down, because why not? I mean, it's not like you can get hurt if you hit the water. If you hit the rocks, you could probably kill yourself, but that'd be a bit silly to do. Off we go. And simple, easy transition. This is more the ruins of old Lion's Arch. Apparently it got flooded. Long, long ago. Just taking a look at the map here, seeing where we're going to end up. We're going to be trying to get actually close to Fort Mariner. And that's approximately... It's actually a good location. It's actually a location for the Mist Wars, which is the... A lot of the world versus world happens in the Mist Wars. I've since had a chance to participate in some of the world versus world, and it's not particularly easy if you're not max level. I mean, while the game can scale you up to level 80, there is a difference because you haven't had all of your 70 trait points spent. But here's where we're getting up to try and get these last few things. Another waypoint. And what should be a road, but really isn't. I mean, apparently there's ships parked there, but not enough people walk it to make it important. I was thinking we were going to the fort, but we actually need to check out the actual lighthouse. Over here, it's actually one of the oldest buildings in Lion's Arch. I'm pretty sure this probably even predates some of the ruins around. Lion's Gate.
Hello, stranger.
Renew my speed boon a little, and we're going to be heading back towards Fort Mariner. And you're going to see a massive drop in my frames if you watch carefully enough. For some odd reason, and it could be because of all the Asura gates, that place just tanks my frame rate. We're talking probably one of the worst frame rates we've had so far, and I've been playing this game since launch, pretty much. As soon as we get inside, you'll start noticing it gets pretty bad pretty fast. I'm not kidding. It's just a little bit ridiculous. Now I was trying to figure out what are all these Asura gates here for, because I'd never actually talked to any of these people.
Seize the moment.
through the portal and you're there. In a magical land of glory, victory, and triumph. Oh.
Now, as I was heading out, I did know that I forgot a point of interest. This one plagued me to no end when I did my initial run through ages ago of Lion's Arch. It's this one here. Headquarters of some places. But we're done with there, and so there's another waypoint we have to get to, and some more points of interest. Particularly the one down in that pit down there. The easy thing to do is to just fall, but as usual with falling, you have to be careful from falling from too large a height. Otherwise you will die. And you got no one to blame but yourself for that. Another speed booner over here. They actually have them placed well enough to where you should reach one by the time your other one is wearing out. Which is very, very good. Now, over here is important, but you need only remember it for next video. Because if you look at the map, you will see a vista in what appears to be solid rock. We'll get to that next video, and it actually is a very interesting one, because it leads you to an achievement. Yes, though this game does have achievements, but you only can get it once per account, so I'm afraid you won't be seeing me get many achievements on Aerthin's account, because everything needs to be pre-run. An island in the middle of nowhere, where, you know, only a bridge can get to it because, well, map design. It's actually a pretty cool island. Unfortunately, nothing major is there, so we can just pretty much ignore its existence past this point. But you will see people mining. You know, I don't know if they're going for minerals or parts of old Lion's Arch or what have you. And then there's that odd little work right there, woodwork. I mean, sure, if you had a skateboard, going across it would be quite fun, I would think, but I don't think they've invented skateboards in Guild Wars 2 yet. Gives the Asura something to do. Although the Asura would probably go straight for hoverboards, considering they apparently already have the magic to do so. Based on everything else that is giant and floating. Now, Lion's Arch actually does connect two maps. In fact, this is one of the points that connects to a map just north of it, which we'll get to in quite a while. And you could go through it to this area, but it is a level 25 to 35 area, and we'll get to it eventually. And there's no reason to start from Lion's Arch anyway. It connects most everything. So now over here is where I was talking about this bridge that's been built out of broken chunks of ship. No, other than it looks very pretty, I have no idea why you would do this. I'm not sure if the people who were making this map saw, say, the old movie Hook, which is the Peter Pan sequel, with Robin Williams in it, and saw that they built an entire small town around, you know, Hook's ship, and thought that maybe that was a brilliant thing, we need to incorporate that somewhere. That's a very good possibility. I mean, it looks very pretty, it just doesn't make much logical sense. Because, as you can see here, they can actually build normal-looking housing.
Perfection.
Why most of their things aren't done that way, I will never know. But that's the outside of Lion's Arch, mostly done. Just got a few places to go.
The Mad King has returned!
Right here in the Lion's Court. And we're going to be heading into the internals of town. There's a lot of interesting things that go on. Right here is the Mystic Forge. This is used to create very high-level weapons through the use of mainly Mystic Coins, which you will be collecting as you complete the maps. That is where your guild location is. We're talking about the banks, the armors, everything's in this location over here. Along this upper part to the north is where every one of the crafting stations are. Not arranged fairly logically, but not in anything that particularly makes sense. In my opinion, a lot of them are kind of jumbled together. Also another exit point to the very same map, I believe. And I was trying to figure out where to go from here. Well, there's two more points of interest we can get in this location before we have to start figuring out exactly what we've already missed, pretty much. Over here is the Black Lion Trading Company global headquarters. Supposedly, this is where all the trading comes through. We're talking about everything goes through there. No, I have no clue how, but that's supposedly where it is. And again, with all the broken off sections of housing, I don't really understand a lot of it. Now, since I was here,
Farewell.
I decided I would look at the trainer and remember that the training manual we're going to need requires a good chunk of money. And I was trying to remember how to get to a few of these points of interest in my mind, because one in particular is an annoying one. But we'll get to that one shortly. You probably actually saw the entrance to it. It's actually through the sewer system. But not that it is particularly noticeable. There is a point of interest, though, in this direction, as you would expect. It appears to be next to the other one, but there really is no connection point. It's actually up this short tower of wood and in a bar that's a ship. No, I don't really understand. A lot of this architecture in Lion's Arch just seems very forced, but thematic at the same time. I mean, ship in the side of a mountain. That's a bar. Just very unusual.
This unit operating at peak efficiency.
I was trying to see if I couldn't figure out... I thought there was a connection point, but there really isn't. And then I nearly killed myself. Well, I decided I would go around and see if I couldn't figure out how to get to that other point of interest. Because you can see it on the mini-map that it is near in proximity, but obviously getting to it is much more complicated than you would expect. It's at this point I began to realize that I don't remember how to get to that one. I really don't. And it has nothing to do with over here. Over here is where other things are. And then I saw the one in the other one in the Eastern Ward, and I was like, well, I think that bridge connects it, so let's go investigate. It's actually the one straight in front of us.
Mad
And it actually is apparently where the Asura assemble their gates. Because apparently the gates need assembling in special locales. It'd be a bit ridiculous otherwise. Apparently none of these gates have been activated, but they are assembled. I wonder why. It's at this point I started realizing I was missing 4 points of interest. I knew where one of them was, but I didn't know where the other 3 were. If we travel down here, we're going to hit another point of interest. This is one of those that I missed. It was... You really don't have a lot of reasons, if you did the map in the order I did it, to go down this lovely little bridge, but some people apparently would. There is another point of interest. You may have seen it down in Fort Mariner. But I needed to get this one here in the middle of the water as well. This is a Quargan village, I want to say. Might be Hylic, actually. They're very similar frog peoples. And now I was looking around, and then I saw the one in Fort Mariner. And I was like, oh, that's it. I know where they all are. Now, it's straight in front of us. It's not hard to miss at all. Now, if you've been watching the argument going on in the chat, people are complaining that, you know, armors, well, and dungeons. I haven't done any of those. I will bring you coverage when I do run them. But we can look forward to that at a different day. Now, to get to that last point of interest, back to the Traders Forum waypoint. We're over here by the guild locations. And I was over here just trying to figure out what exactly am I supposed to do to try and get this location. I knew it was somewhere around over here, but I couldn't for the life of me remember where. Then I fell down here and discovered this, the broken grating in the sewer. That's all there is. If you can remember that, Lion's Arch is easy to complete. And that is the last point of interest. I'll see you guys next time when we take on the vistas for Lion's Arch. This is Stomping Llama. Signing out.
I've acquired a valuable scroll. Should I keep it, sell it, or turn it into the Priory?
Why not make duplicates and do all 3?